French Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu announced that France's domestic intelligence agency, the DGSI, which is the equivalent of the FBI or MI5, is ending its relationship with Palantir, which is the American AI and data analytics company founded with CIA backing by billionaire Peter Thiel, because nothing really says we respect European data privacy quite like software being built by a guy who looks like he's actively auditioning to be a Bond villain. The DGSI has used Palantir's Gotham platform for nearly a decade to sift through surveillance footage, archived case files, field reports, and communications intercepts, pulling together data that would take human analysts days to process and using artificial intelligence to recommend targets for surveillance, arrest, or further investigation. That contract has now been awarded to ChapsVision, which is a French company founded back in 2019 with 200 million euros in annual revenue, roughly 1/20th the size of Palantir. This isn't just bringing a knife to a gunfight. This is more France bringing a very polite, organically sourced baguette to a drone strike. But Lecornu did not soften the language. He said, "We cannot accept new strategic dependencies in the digital sphere. France must build real autonomy and not depend on the goodwill of certain partners who are capable of turning off the access tap." My name is Elle, and I use data analysis to spot patterns in geopolitics and economics, and this story is not just about one contract between one country and one company. It is so much more than that. It is about the moment Europe's intelligence services, the most security-sensitive institutions on the continent, concluded that running their operations through American software is an unacceptable strategic risk. Because France is not the first, last month, Germany's domestic intelligence agency, the BFV, chose the same company, ChapsVision, over Palantir for its own data analytics platform. Two of Europe's three largest intelligence services have now rejected Palantir and selected the same French replacement. The pattern does not appear to be coincidental. It appears to be coordinated, and the trigger that accelerated both decisions actually arrived last Friday. On Friday, the US government ordered Anthropic, the AI company behind the Claude models, to suspend access to its most advanced systems for foreign nationals, citing unspecified national security concerns. The access was cut without warning. European researchers, companies, and institutions that had been using Anthropic's models woke up to find the tap turned off. Imagine being a top-tier European intelligence analyst, logging in the morning to ask the AI to map out international smuggling rings and getting a 403 error saying, "Sorry, this large language model is for Americans only. Go eat a croissant." That is precisely the scenario Lecornu described, a partner capable of turning off the access tap, except it happened in real time to a real product affecting real users 4 days before he announced the Palantir replacement. The Anthropic incident did not cause the DGSI decision, I think. ChapsVision had already won an initial DGSI contract back in 2024, but it gave Lecornu the most powerful possible illustration of why the decision was necessary. He did not need to make a hypothetical argument about dependency risk. He could point to something that had happened 72 hours earlier. It turns out the best way to prove a country will ghost you is to literally watch them leave you on read. If you've been following this channel's coverage of European digital sovereignty, this is the intelligence chapter. The most classified, most sensitive, most consequential data a government possesses, the kind that identifies terrorist suspects, tracks foreign agents, and prevents attacks, is being migrated off American platforms and onto European ones. If the spy agencies are moving, everything else follows. Palantir's response was also very revealing. The company issued a statement saying its DGSI contract remains fully in force and that the company will continue to support the French government wherever its solutions are needed, which is basically the corporate equivalent of screaming, "You can't break up with me. We still have a joint Netflix account until the end of the billing cycle." And that is technically true. Lecornu acknowledged the existing contract would continue during the transition to avoid suffering a capacity gap in this sensitive field, but the direction is set. The contract is running out its clock while ChapsVision builds the replacement. Palantir is not being renewed, it is being tolerated until the alternative is ready. If you're trying to understand how to read through corporate statements like this and see what the structural dynamics underneath actually show, my book, Awake the Practice of Critical Thinking in an Age of Self-Lies, is available as an ebook and audiobook. Subscribers get 10% off, and you can grab the first chapter for free in the description links below. The choice of ChapsVision is itself a statement. The company was founded in 2019 by Oliver Dallenbach. It reported 200 million euros in revenue in 2025 compared to Palantir's 4.5 billion. It is a fraction of the size. Palantir has sprawling campuses and military-grade server farms. ChapsVision probably runs its entire infrastructure off a really robust Excel spreadsheet and the collective willpower of the French tech sector. That is a joke. I'm sure they're not doing that. But its platform, Argon OS, is designed specifically for European government requirements: sovereign data hosting, compliance with European privacy law, no exposure to the Cloud Act, and no dependency on infrastructure that a foreign government can just switch off. ChapsVision has now won the French DGSI contract, the German BFV contract, and is reportedly in discussions with additional European intelligence services. A company that did not exist 6 years ago is replacing the CIA-backed platform that dominated Western intelligence analytics for a decade. That trajectory tells you everything about how fast the sovereignty shift is moving when the institutions making the decisions are the ones with the most to lose from getting it wrong. Le Cornu also announced 655 million euros in new French public investment, specifically for developing domestic AI capabilities, which is in itself a direct response to the Anthropic cutoff and the broader recognition that relying on American AI infrastructure for government operations creates a vulnerability that no amount of contractual language can mitigate. The money will fund sovereign AI development across multiple government agencies, not just intelligence. The Palantir rejection, I think, sits inside a pattern that this channel has been documenting for months now. Germany rejected Palantir for its military cloud and is testing 3 European alternatives. France is migrating from Windows to Linux across its entire government. The European Parliament replaced Google with Quant. EuroOffice launched as the sovereign Microsoft 365 alternative. The Netherlands blocked a US takeover of its digital identity system. Thales built sovereign cloud entities around Google's technology in France and Germany. The EU blocked Starlink from expanding into European spectrum. And now France and Germany have both fired Palantir from their intelligence services and handed a contract to the same European company. Palantir's CEO Alex Karp recently published what he called a manifesto calling for American technological supremacy and celebrating the company's role in selecting bombing targets during the Iran war. Now, if you've ever seen Alex Karp speak, you know he looks less like a tech CEO and more like a yoga instructor who accidentally stumbled into a defense contract. But his manifesto left zero room for interpretation, and we actually made a separate video analysis covering that exact absurdity. He described Palantir's mission in explicitly militaristic terms. European intelligence officials read that document. They noted that the CEO of the company processing their most sensitive national security data was publicly celebrating his alignment with an American administration that is simultaneously withdrawing submarines from NATO, threatening European territories, imposing tariffs on European industry, and waging a war that has pushed European energy prices to crisis levels. The decision to leave was not difficult after that. It turns out European spies aren't super comfortable outsourcing their national security to a guy who is publicly high-fiving the administration currently threatening their borders. In terms of what's going to happen next, the prediction is that at least 2 more European intelligence services will announce Palantir replacements before the end of 2026, with the Netherlands, Italy, and Spain as the most likely candidates based on existing sovereignty mandates and the ChapsVision pipeline. Palantir's European government revenue will likely decline materially over the next 3 years as contracts expire and are not rewarded anew. ChapsVision's revenue will likely double by 2028 as it becomes the de facto sovereign intelligence platform across the continent. And the phrase Le Cornu used yesterday, partners who are capable of turning off the access tap, will likely become the defining sentence of European digital sovereignty policy for the rest of this decade. Because on Friday, somebody turned off the tap, and on Tuesday, France changed the plumbing. And let's be honest, if there's one thing the French know how to do really well, is to go on a strike and completely dismantle the existing infrastructure. They're just great like that. But sovereign intelligence software only works if the data it processes stays in Europe. I made a separate video on how Wired, an American tech magazine, just published a comprehensive timeline of every European institution ditching American technology. It reads like this channel's playlist. That's the video that I would watch next. Thanks so much for watching this one. Subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.